ESPN most recently put out their way too early top 25 rankings. Why not? It's January 22nd. The national championship just wrapped up just a few days ago. Ohio State coming away with the win over Notre Dame. But let's go ahead and get these way too early rankings out there, because you know what? We have nothing else to do for a good little bit before spring camp begins across the country. And of course, Florida State and Mike Norvell having to do a complete revamp across the board, going 2-10, and expected to hopefully turn some things around with new coordinators, offensively and defensively. Gus Malzahn coming from UCF, and also too on the defensive side with Tony White, hoping things can turn around also too with some personnel and some position group coaches. But right now in these way too early rankings, Florida State has 4 opponents on their schedule ranked here from ESPN's Matt Schlabach, the senior college football writer for ESPN. We'll start off here with number 1, Clemson, ranked in the top 10 at number 7. As we know, Florida State didn't win this game last year. They won the year previously in 2023 when they went up to Death Valley and won against the Tigers, but Florida State struggling this last season. And then, too, think about what Florida State needs to do in the ACC. This is going to be a big year for Mike Norvell. I mean, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of weight on his shoulders going into this season. They did a lot of work, like I said, and the coordinators and coaching staff and the transfer portal to bring in immediate impact players. But the goal, it's mandatory. It's not even a goal. It's mandatory as Florida State as a program with the resources behind it to always get to that ACC championship on a yearly basis. So Clemson, a highly ranked team, and their way too early rankings at number 7. And then Florida State is going to be kicking off the season against Alabama, where ESPN currently has them ranked as number 12th coming into the season. Kalen DeBoer, the season last year just didn't go exactly how they wanted it to go. I think, to me, there's going to be a lot of changes. They got to figure out their quarterback situation, which is going to be very interesting to Tony White and Florida State's defensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, on figuring out what kind of direction they're going to be going with the Tigers. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of competition. They've got a handful of quarterbacks under their helm that they are going to put out there and compete throughout their next few camps. But they have some question marks going into this game, and really all it matters to FSU fans is what Alabama does in their first game, as the Seminoles kick off inside Doak Campbell Stadium anyways. But a lot of question marks across the Crimson Tide coming into this next season. Now, Florida State has some rivals here in the top 25, both of them actually being in here. We'll start off with number 1. The Florida Gators are ranked here in the way too early rankings at number 18. They finished the 2024 season with an 8-5 record, including 4 straight wins to close the year. So they built up a lot of momentum to finish off the season last year. They had some notable victories over Ole Miss, where they beat the ranked team, and Lane Kiffin, and also to LSU and Brian Kelly. Florida State obviously losing that game in their last game of the year in Doak. So a lot of momentum also being built off of their young quarterback with DJ Lagway, and also to a strong receiving corps around him. But yes, they were one of the hottest teams in the SEC there to finish off that season. We'll see how things go throughout this offseason for them, but they're certainly going to be a pretty highly ranked team going into this next season. Then we go over to the Miami Hurricanes. Man, what an offseason they've had so far for them on their side. Obviously, Cam Ward heading to the NFL, a guy that they spent a lot of resources on to come in and hopefully reach an ACC championship, which sadly did not happen. But they have their savior now at another quarterback coming in as a transfer with Carson Beck. ESPN currently has them ranked as number 23 in the way too early rankings. And let's just put this in here. It's way too early rankings, not even early rankings yet. We haven't gotten that far yet. It's way too early rankings, but they're ranked at number 23. They ended the 2024 season at a 10-3 record, losing 3 of their last 4 games. A pretty brutal stretch for the Hurricanes there to end off the season. They had some key losses to Georgia Tech and Syracuse, which derailed their 9-0 start and kept them out of that ACC championship game in Charlotte. They also lost to Iowa State in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Didn't get to see Cam Ward play the remainder of that game. One thing that the Hurricanes and Mario Cristobal did, they relied on Cam Ward and his talents to take the Hurricanes to that ACC championship, take them to hopefully a college football playoff berth. But now Ward moving on, he's NFL bound. He, that offense did find a lot of success with him at the helm. But now, he's gone, and they're looking at Georgia transfer quarterback Carson Beck to come in and make also an immediate impact. A guy that had a lot of experience with the Georgia Bulldogs, a lot of SEC level experience, and had like a roller coaster ride there under Beck and Georgia. Yes, they also had some receivers at Georgia that were very inconsistent this last season. But to me, the biggest question is Carson Beck and his health and how well he can recover from that surgery on his elbow. Like that is a massive surgery for a quarterback on his throwing arm to go through, and interested to see how fully healthy he will be and available going into this season. It's a pretty lengthy recovery. And some players, I'm thinking going back to some days when Florida State had Christian Ponder. He was going into the NFL. He was with the Vikings. Also, I think dealt with the same injury and recovery. Things just did not turn out well for Ponder, and ended up ending his career at the NFL level. But it's kind of the same type of situation here for Carson Beck coming here for the Miami Hurricanes. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty for the Miami Hurricanes. And, if I'm looking at the Florida Gators as well, a lot of things are going to be on the shoulders of DJ Lagway, one of their younger quarterbacks who most certainly shows promise. Most certainly, we saw that last year. He's a good quarterback. But, looking at Clemson ranked at number 7, that probably makes sense with Dabo Swinney and them having some success there this last season. And now look at Dabo Swinney starting to get in there, inch around into the transfer portal too. Alabama, to me, has a ton of question marks too, and it's really relied there at the quarterback room as well. But this is the 4 opponents that are in the way too early rankings. You let me know down in the comments what you think at where some of those teams should be. Like I said, it's January 22nd. Who knows? It's very early, but if you enjoyed the video, got tons of updates like this coming all throughout the offseason. Hit that like button down below. We would definitely appreciate it if you do. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We've got tons of content coming your way with updates like this, breaking news, also to live videos as well on a weekly basis. So hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell so you get notified every time we release a new episode. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think about these way too early rankings from ESPN. Until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.